Hello everybody and welcome to week 7, lesson 3, and this is basically the principles explained. So we're going over what we've done in the last 2 lessons to make sure that it's solid in our minds and we know everything. So moving on to the next slide. So we have just learned about the principles of effective practice and the principles of training again. These were GPMTW and sport. So GPMTW were the principles of effective practice, goal setting, progression, model performers, tedium, and work to rest ratio. And sport for specific, progressively overloaded, considering reversibility, and tedium for our fitness factors. Okay, so that's only for our agility, flexibility, and for our, what did the other class do? Speed. That was my class, I can't even remember it. So we'd only consider sport for that, and we did do that at the time. But for every other factor, every other PDP, we use the principles of effective practice. So today's lesson is all about consolidation. So in lessons 1 and 2, you were asked the following questions, or there or thereabouts. You're asked to explain what you would consider when planning a PDP, and this was for 4 marks, and this was basically covering the principles of effective practice. The other question you were asked in lesson 2 was to explain what you would consider when planning a PDP, and this was only for 3 marks, and that was for the principles of training. So now it's check and change time. So you have to have done lesson 1 and lesson 2 to do this. And trust me, it's going to be obvious if you haven't done it, you're just going to use this lesson. So make sure you've done lesson 1 and 2 before you do this. So I'm going to ask you to check and change your answers using the next 2 slides. And then what I want you to do is I want you to send me a photo of this work that you've done to check and change. So it should be scribbles all over your jotter. So it's going to be harder for you if you're going to not do it yourself. Copy down the model answers and try and make things up. So I want you to check and change your answers using these model answers in the next 2 slides. And then take a photo of the work that you've done at that point. So here are the answers for your principles of effective practice. I think we already did the goal setting one, so that was a given. But the rest of them, check and change your work. So there should be scribbles all across the answers that you did for lessons 1 and 2, and you're going to take a photo of this check and change, and you're going to upload it into the assignment that's with this lesson. Okay, and same goes for the next slide. So here are the answers, model answers for the principles of effective training. So explaining basically why you would use the principles of effective training. And the first one was already done for you, so don't check and change that one because I gave you that answer. But the other 3 for the 3 marks, that's what you should have written. So check and change your answers. Some of them you won't have had, like for example in the reversibility one, you probably wouldn't have put if I missed training at week 5. If you've not done that, don't check and change it as long as it makes sense. And take a photo of this and upload it into the assignment. That's all you've got to do today. So plenty of time to check and change and learn. Yay! See you tomorrow for, or probably next period for lesson 4, which is going to be a change of topic.